What's up, BIRTHFIT? This week's question is, if I continue to exercise up to 40 weeks, will it prevent my baby from descending into my pelvis and allowing labor and delivery to happen naturally? Here's my answer. High-intensity CrossFit-style exercise is not to blame for a baby that won't descend into the pelvis. There's a lot more going on. And I feel like people want to point the finger on high-intensity style exercise because in birth, a woman needs to surrender and relax and not be wound up, where these kind of high-intensity exercises type A humans love, and it keeps humans wound up if you don't have another outlet or have ways to balance your lifestyle. So in BIRTHFIT, there are 4 pillars. There's fitness, there's nutrition, there's chiropractic, and mindset. There's 4 pillars for a reason. So if all you're doing is preparing for birth through fitness and you haven't addressed mindset or you haven't seen a chiropractor, then there's a lot of things that maybe aren't being addressed and that are going to keep the body physically and emotionally wound up. So through practicing for a better part of a decade, chiropractic-wise, I've seen a lot of women prenatal, postpartum, and I would not say that exercise, CrossFit, or anything like that would be the reason. I would put it more on something emotional, and if anything, if I had to guess one muscle, it would be a psoas. Usually women that are tighter emotionally and physically, their psoas needs to be released. So address all 4 pillars in order to prepare for your labor and your birth. Trust me.
There's not any science to support this, and actually staying active to tolerance in that last month can really help you through labor. Again, I know as far as what I did at the end of my labors, week 37 and beyond, with the last 2 pregnancies, I was running up until my due date, and I felt amazing and was really at peace with letting my baby come when he was ready. And then I'm currently 22 weeks pregnant and plan on doing the same. This pregnancy, I've added a little more strength training and feeling even better. So I encourage you to just really listen to your body, but definitely staying active and staying fit is going to help you in labor and not harm you. Have a good day.
I have never heard that before, but I'm sure that if it's being brought up that this is a concern that some women are having. I, for one, worked out up until I gave birth and my son had no trouble descending. I want to encourage you that your body is designed for birth. So anecdotally speaking, I'm sure that we can find any group of women who did X, Y, and Z and then had this issue, or did X, Y, and Z and then had a great outcome. But these things aren't necessarily based in research. They're just kind of stories that people like to tell. And unfortunately, when you have a belly, sometimes people like to come up and tell you inappropriate stories. So what I would do in the last couple of weeks of your pregnancy is really focus on the physical aspect of your body in terms of not just your training and continuing to be smart with your training, but going to see a chiropractor, making sure that everything in your spine is moving well, making sure that everything, especially in your pelvis, is moving well. And I would also really focus on your mindset, because that's going to be the biggest determination of how tight you're maintaining everything internally. Is if you're really kind of wound up and you're not able to fully relax, then that makes it harder for baby to descend. But if you're actually being smart about your training the way that we encourage you to do throughout your entire pregnancy, that's not going to increase your chances of having a more difficult labor. It's actually going to increase your chances of having an easier and shorter labor. So keep doing what you're doing, be smart about your training, but also make sure that you're incorporating the other pillars of BIRTHFIT. It's not just fitness and nutrition. We also are really honing in on how our body's working and making sure that it's working well. So go see your chiropractor and make sure that you're focusing on your mindset training too.